uncertain. However, the future of many businesses will be defined how we pause, build new habits, and tackle this big problem. This lockdown has given us the best opportunity to expand our horizon of knowledge and to delve deep into some new learning adventures. Don't you think it is the best time to discover yourself, build better opportunities, and harness our creativity to a whole new level? I am Supriya Bhasin, a writer and a spiritual being. I'm delighted to curate this wonderful, to moderate this wonderful session curated by Woodpecker Media. Let's welcome our panelist, Neha Suradkar. Neha, can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Supriya.
Yes,
Okay, thank you so much,
thank you.
Supriya, for having me over, and thank you, Woodpecker Media, for curating this panel. I am Neha Suradkar, a makeup and nail artist and educator. I'm a founder of Style and File Makeup Studio and Academy in Powai. I'm also into grooming and corporate training, so basically a corporate grooming consultant. And this lockdown has given me something much more interesting to do, which I will be talking about during the course of this panel.
Thank you, Neha. Uh, let's have Mr. Manoj Shroff.
Hi, Supriya. Thank you, Woodpecker Media. I usually make television commercials. That's what I do for a living. I'm a producer at Equinox. Um, this lockdown has given me some more time. It's actually just an excuse. I think the lockdown is just an excuse, and we always say that we don't have time, we don't have time. But it's allowed us to do something which is very different from what we've been doing in our work lives. And I'll talk about it when I get to it. But yeah, this is a little about me.
Thank you, Manoj, for being here today. Let's have Dr. Shilpa Mittal.
Hi, Supriya, thank you for introducing me. I am Shilpa Mittal. I'm a dentist. So I basically fix people's smiles. And it's been 20 years. I've been there, almost 20 years. I've been there at Winning Smiles Dental Clinic, which is in Kandivali, Lokanwala. And it's kept me fairly busy. In fact, I feel this, though of course in the larger economic sense, we should not be saying that it's a blessing, but somewhere I feel the pause has helped. I was looking forward for a little break and to reflect on things. So yeah, to me, this pause has been good. And my practice, of course, I'm going back now. So it's like a back and forth thing. Thank you, Woodpecker Media, and thank you, Surya, for having me up.
Thank you all for being here. You all are in professions, you all have one thing in common, and that is lockdown learning. So, Neha and Manoj, you have actually found time to go back and do something which you have always enjoyed. But Shilpa, you have entered something very new, cooking, which I'd say for many of us is not new. So, Shilpa, I would like to start with you. Why Why is cooking new to you? Can you please explain to us?
Yeah, so, see, cooking is basically a very essential life skill, which I'm teaching my son now. But it so happens that my father is a surgeon. So I think even before I was born, my destiny was sealed that Banna the doctor hai. And then, the kind of studies till the grade 10, I never stayed with my parents. I was in this huge joint family. And there was always a chachi or there was always a bua who would do the kitchen. And then 11th, 12th, at our time, we had to study a lot. And then I went to the hostel. And cooking never just fared on my list. And then when my husband in fact proposed, the first thing I said, my reflex was, but you know what, I don't cook. So he said, okay, that's okay. So it just went on. And after I got married, my mother-in-law, oh my God, she's a fabulous cook. She's such an amazing cook. तो मैंने ना दूसरे दिन ही हथियार डाल दिए कि भाई जो whatever I'm not going to win, why just go into the thing. So I never really took up cooking.
Sorry, my network, there was some issue. Thank you, Shilpa, for sharing with us. And it was wonderful knowing your story. And now move to Manoj. Manoj, singing is something that you have always enjoyed. So why did it take a lockdown for you to pick it up again?
Uh, it's an excuse, actually. More than anything else, it's an excuse. So, first there was an excuse of traffic, that it takes so many hours to go to the office and then come back. And then it was busyness, that, one is so busy that you can't pursue a hobby. Uh, I think what the COVID times have done is that it's taken away all excuses, right? So you have to find time to work, which we have been doing uh, on Zoom, which has been one of our most favorite devices. I'm a producer. We make TV commercials, so that's what I have been doing, making TV commercials like this on Zoom, directing actors all
Okay.
over from Bangalore to Delhi to wherever, because some places shoots are allowed. In Bombay, shoots are not allowed yet. So while that is happening, while we are sweeping and mopping the floor
Oh,
and helping the wife with it, I also found time to sing. Okay, which is something I had started way back in college.
yes.
And I'm not professionally trained. I call myself a bathroom singer, and I am one. Uh, but what I did do is I found the time to explore technology, which is I have an Apple laptop, so I have GarageBand on the Apple laptop. Plus, I have iMovies. So the last video which you
Okay.
saw with my daughter, which we'll talk about a little later, I have edited that on my machine here. Usually, I work with some professionals who are from my industry who help me every now and then as a friend. But now recording the song is also done on my laptop in GarageBand. So I've been introduced to new technology, and B, I have gotten into singing big time. There is a group of karaoke artists in Kandivli, which is where we used to stay first. It's called Fine Tuners, and we used to meet every month to sort of sing songs and entertain whoever comes, or not entertain them. But the idea was that we could do this as a hobby more than anything else. And so, how do we do this? So, first we began doing singing on Zoom, but then there was these lags and all the rest of it. Now we have a WhatsApp group where each of us posts one song every day. So instead of singing on an app like what's it called, Sing Along or whatever those apps are, I actually sing on my laptop, where I take, like a professional studio, take the music separately, my singing separately, put the two together, add effects, and send that off as a song to the karaoke group. So it's been fun because it's a de-stress, and you're being able to manage housework, office work, everything. And believe me, we didn't have to wait for COVID for this. We could have done this much earlier.
Yeah, that's really a very good realization, and best of luck for doing more of this. Coming to Neha, Neha, you have created some beautiful mandala pieces, which I've seen on your Insta page also. Can you tell me, before lockdown, when was the last time you picked up a canvas?
Okay. So for me, being an artist, like earlier I was into fashion design and I was into teaching fashion. Then eventually I moved to makeup and nail art. So there has always been a canvas. So sometimes it was a face, sometimes it was on nails. But pen and paper, I've come back to almost after 8 or 9 years. And for yeah, it's just a change of canvas for me. There was always a canvas, only the canvas has changed to paper now from faces or nails.
Thank you, Neha. With all this, what you've shared, all three of you, I'm really delighted to know all these stories. And I really would like to thank Woodpecker Media again for having this session wherein we can learn that how people are using this situation, have used this lockdown as the best place to start their new learning. And I can relate to all three of you, and even I believe that we can emerge from any difficult period with a change in ourselves. So, how do you think that current situation, the pandemic, actually changed the way you all think? What is the biggest learning you all have learned in this situation? Manoj, I would like you to answer this first.
Uh, I think the biggest learning that we have got from this pandemic is that there should be something which is called a Earth holiday more than anything else. Where we need to have 1 month where human beings go back into their homes and sit quietly, and you see the earth heal itself. Like, we all go on holiday, we go on a reset holiday. We used to go on a reset holiday. I don't know when that'll happen now. But the earth needs this time to heal all the harm that we as human beings inflict upon it. Similarly, for ourselves, I think each person, and I genuinely believe that each and every person has found a way of reinventing themselves, of getting connected to newer things. For instance, I feel how many of us were, I mean, I'm connected to media. Shilpa is connected to technology in some manner. I'm sorry, I don't know Neha too well, but I'm sure everybody is connected on media in some manner or the other. If not anything else, social media. But there are old uncles and aunties who didn't know anything about what Zoom is, who didn't know how to do Antakshari, for instance, on a smule. I've seen some videos of and grandparents doing Antakshari on Smule or apps like that. So there's so many things which have come out of this lockdown where people are dying to connect with each other, and therefore Zoom calls have suddenly, from becoming just meeting platforms, become something where you are reaching out to families across the world. I'm sorry, can you all hear me clearly?
We can. I think we've lost the moderator, but we can hear you. Manoj, go on.
Okay, great. So basically, the idea is that all of us have been able to connect so well with technology and make use of it and reach out to people. Uh, and when we have the time, we don't do all this. I mean, we've had the time where we can go to people's places, meet them. We've not done it, but we're doing it on Zoom now. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
one.
I think we finally got the time to do that also. I think, Neha, would you like to take the same question? What is the biggest learning from
Yes,
the lockdown?
so absolutely. So as Manoj sir said, like there has to be a reset holiday
Sorry,
for
sorry
Earth.
again.
No problem. Welcome back, Supriya.
Yeah, Neha is just
Yeah.
continuing on
There's
that
a
question.
network issue. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know why I'm having this.
No worries. No. So yes, it's a kind of a reset holiday for all of us, and it should be made mandatory so that everything heals. We have seen the pollution levels coming down, and the way nature has worked on in a little better way. Personally, also a lot of us have got some time to get inside and think about ourselves and be a little more better person. So for me, I would say I've become a little more forgiving for a lot of situations and for a lot of people. So and more accepting to the situation. So ठीक है, कुछ नहीं होता तो नहीं होता. It's fine अगर things don't work out the way I have wanted to always. So if things don't go with your plan, it's perfectly fine. Just let it be. Whatever is your not in your control, don't focus a lot on those things. And gratitude was something which I was always practicing, but now it has become a habit for me, because the way you think of you see so many things changing around you. You are just thankful that everything is fine with you and your family, and you are just in a better place right now. Things could be a lot worse. So that is how things have taken, the lockdown has made me, I would say, a little more better person.
Right, right, right. So true.
So I think Dr. Shilpa can take over now.
Yeah, Neha, when I'm on a chat,
Yes,
I prefer
yes.
Shilpa.
Shilpa,
So sure. So what Manoj said is so true, that we needed this earth hour, this earth time where everything healed. I feel my biggest learning has been that we as humans, we need to adapt, and the ones who adapt are the ones who are going to come out of it even better. So I feel the whole, when I see my son, I feel the whole focus should be how well you can adapt. And technology, all of us, the way we have taken to technology, be it shopping, be it interacting, like when I see my son's schooling going on online, I can feel the class come home. So, after the Industrial Revolution, I feel this COVID is going to be the next technology revolution which is being forced upon us, and it's going to do us a lot good. And thank God for technology, we can cope so well with COVID.
So true. I can truly relate with it because your story and my story match a lot. So, really a nice input by all of you for using this as a wonderful opportunity. And this brings me to my audience that whoever is watching, please thank you for joining in. And I would like to, if you have any query or anything which you would like to share with us, please put into the comments. We would love to hear you all. Coming back to you all, how did this lockdown turn into a personal growth opportunity for you guys? Like when you picked up different learnings, and how did you grown personally with it? Neha, can you start with you for this, please?
Okay. I moved to Mumbai a few years back, and since then I've been known here as a makeup artist and a nail artist, and nothing else. There is no other dimension to Neha if somebody doesn't know me, from my past. So, and then suddenly things happen, and your work. The next day, you have to stop working because you get into a lockdown. So, it was a tough situation, and frustration and denial are the first reactions that you usually go through. So I was frustrated, and believe me, I was not expecting the lockdown to extend so long. And I was like, okay, 3 weeks mein khatam ho jayega and all that. So first lockdown one was mostly about understanding the housework, how to manage your daily chores, and how to figure out the routine in the house, which I was not doing earlier. So the first lockdown was that, and then basically whenever you got time, it was Netflix and chill. But after a while you can't just chill. It's at least for me, I have to do something. Netflix is for a while, it's just entertainment, but what next? So I, like, one day while cleaning the house, I happened to find some gel pens, and I took one of my son's drawing book and started drawing. I said, okay, let me get back to drawing. It's been a while. I have not done any nail art, or I have not painted any face. So the creative energy was waiting to get out of my hands, and I started drawing.
True.
And that is how, got some more pens found here and there, in every drawer and every nook and corner. I could find few other things, and eventually there were few stationery supplies that were, they could supply more material. And I think that's when I took on to this aspect that I had forgotten about me, that I could draw on paper. And so it was, coming back to something that was part of me few years back. I would say 8 or 9 years ago, when before my son was born, I was heavily into drawing and needlework, which I had stopped. So this is a good time. This was a
Okay.
good time that took me back to what I used to enjoy doing earlier. So that is how I think. So sometimes for growing, you don't need to move forward. It's okay if you go back and relive your previous uh, passions and all that. So that is also a kind of growth for me.
Yes, indeed. Fabulous, Neha, fabulous. This would bring me to Dr. Shilpa. If you could tell us, like, how this lockdown turned into personal growth opportunity for you.
Okay, so as I said, I
Shilpa,
was.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can. Can you hear me too? Okay, we've lost her again. So no worries. So what happened is, for me, is one, as I told you, I was never a cook. In fact, I was the joke. So the joke used to be that when Maggie went out, my husband would say that, okay, अभी तो है ना कोई option ही नहीं है. If the cook doesn't come, उबले हुए अंडे मिलेंगे. So I was that bad, okay? And of course, I should have taken it up then, but I found it so convenient, not to cook, that I decided to just let it go. Why take up a challenge which might backfire? So I never took it up then. Now, what happened coming to into the lockdown, day one of lockdown, I thought curry chawal is the simplest thing. So let me just make some curry chawal safe. And I made the curry fine, and the chawal, in order to cook it well, I landed up overcooking it. And I just didn't want it to be kacha. I probably got busy on a phone, so I didn't remove the lid and I let the water soak into it. And then when my son was supposed to have food, he just quietly ate it. He was so resigned that, okay, this whole blob of white, which is supposed to be rice, is what my mother's going to feed me. And poor guy just took it. That triggered a little something in me, and I said, no, this can't happen. He is 12 and a half. He is right now in a growth spurt age. And I had been forced into this whole new scenario. So I said, either I can crib about it. I think if he had criticized it, if he had said, hey, Ma, what's this? I would have gotten defensive and it would have gotten lost. But just seeing him resigned to it, that this is what I'm going to get, it really triggered something in me. And I said, nothing doing, I'm getting a chance and I'm going to get on top of it. I'm going to give my son home cooked, everyday, nutritious food. So that became an individual sort of, something tugging at you that you really want to do. So that's what got me to cooking. Okay, Supriya, I've concluded the cooking part. Nice to have
Thank
you
you,
back.
Shilpa, for sharing this wonderful with us. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, Manoj, now we'd like to hear your insight on this.
I think
How did this lockdown turn into a personal growth opportunity for you, Manoj? Yes.
so. Basically, like I said, singing is one thing that came along, and then of course there has been technology like GarageBand, iMovies, where one could edit stuff. I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of noise from your end, Supriya. Can we mute it? Supriya,
I'll
can
just
we?
mute my mic. Yes, 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 please.
Yes, thanks. So basically, there's been technology, there's been singing, all of those things. And of course, there is mopping the house and there is vacuuming and all the rest of it, which one never did. I think, whenever one went abroad for a holiday, one saw those Indians living abroad and like, oh God, you guys have to do everything yourself. You all don't have drivers, you all don't have maids and none of that. So we got a taste of that here, and I'm glad we did because I feel that at some point everybody in India needs to grow, and I hope they do, and I hope that they don't have to come and work with us to earn their living. They have better things to do, and we become self-sufficient. We become so complacent at times where we say, "Oh, yaar, ye our house help is going to help us. Acha, ye wo kar dega." Why? I mean, the reason people abroad are so fit, even at a certain age, is because they do the things themselves. They do it themselves. They do everything themselves. They drive themselves. They clean the house themselves. They shovel the ice themselves when they are in colder countries. My brother-in-law stays in Canada, in Toronto, and I know what all he does at age. I think he's over 60 now or about to be 60. He's fantastic. I mean, he does everything himself. My sister and he. So I think first, if there was no lockdown, then husbands would be cribbing as to why the wife is making them work on a weekend. But now I think we have all been tamed, and we will now be better husbands, and we will all help our wives in day to day, including cooking. For instance, one of the things I did is organized a cooking competition for the non-cooks in the house. So that was me, one of my daughters, my nephew, Bhavika's nephew, my wife's nephew. And that was great fun. Then we did a filmmaking competition for the kids who didn't know how to make films. So they did scripting to editing and shooting, everything. So in that manner, I was also acting like a producer at home. So it got me to do these small things. At the same time, there was work. So that was great because it was not just something which I was doing to kill time, but also making something fruitful happened with the people around in the family. Plus, there was work, so there was a good sort of use of time overall, which happened. And I would say, I mean, that it does change you as a person. You've never actually had 3 months in. It's like a big boss home, right? You've been put into, and now do what you want, right? And live with each other, live with each other's tantrums, learn to deal with it. Y'all have a certain size of house in Bombay. Y'all don't have very extravagant bungalows over here. At least we don't. But you need to know how to live with each other. It's great that we've had this opportunity, and I think we will all turn out better human beings after this. At least I hope we will. I hope we don't go back to what we were before this.
Yes, Manoj, I can totally relate to what all you said, that we used to say that we would learn from people abroad and how what all we have learned from them during this lockdown is really, really far too much. And this would also, one more thing, as you've also already mentioned what all you've done in lockdown, one more thing which I know you've done something very special on Father's Day with your daughter. Can you tell us about it and share with us how you have made this lockdown special with your family? Mr. Manoj, it's you only.
Some of the things I already told you about.
Can you please unmute yourself? Yeah.
I'm unmuted. Some of the things I already told you about, like, I got them to make films. The people who didn't know how to cook, cooked. The people who didn't know how to sing, sang. All of that happened. And the singers were judging them. But my daughter is a singer, much better singer than I am. Like I said, I'm a bathroom singer. She's a trained singer. And she's put up her channel about a year back. In fact, in August, we complete a whole year. So as a father-daughter, again, this is just a bonding exercise for me, where we decided to put in all my filmmaking skills, and she would lend her voice, and we would sing a song, covers basically. And I would shoot it for her. And wherever I needed help, I would take help professionally from my friends. But this time on Father's Day, she gave me an opportunity to sing with her, and we chose a song which she and I had sung about 2 years back in a studio. One day I just said, let's just go and jam. So I had that recording, and we decided to put it out in a very simple manner. I mean, usually in our videos I try and show off as a filmmaker, but in this one it was very, very simple. It was one room. My Rakhi sister's son playing the guitar. He actually had played the guitar in the original which we had recorded. So it was him, me, and my daughter, and the three of us sort of doing it almost like a virtual sort of singing thing. And usually it's Riva's videos, so which is, I'm saying, she gave me an opportunity to feature in a video. I mean, and it was great fun just being by her side. I mean, she's a fantastic singer, and just being part of that video is a big thing for me. Y'all should see it.
Supriya, you need to unmute yourself. Supriya, you need to unmute yourself.
Yes. Now can you hear me all?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it was wonderful hearing from you, Manoj. And Shilpa, my next question would be with you. Where I would say that how did your family react to you cooking special meals for them? And and what extent did you go to make the experience so memorable for them? I'm sure, as you mentioned, that cooking is totally new to it. So how difficult or easy was it to fulfill their desires and everything during lockdown?
Okay, so on quarantine day 2, I called up a friend, okay, and Sonali from Spoil Me Silly, who's also very common here. So I called up Sonali and I said, listen, don't judge me, but just tell me how to make rice. And she was like, kaun sa fried rice? I said, nahi. Simple safed chawal, khila khila. Okay, so my journey began there. My son was like, can mom cook? Because as I said, I was a part of the joke which said, okay, oh, mom can't cook. And here it started there, okay. And I was on a mission now, okay. I was a woman with a plan. So I decided that one by one, I took it easy. And thankfully, we had a lot of people around who also helped. So initially, I would have neighbors, friends who would, I would just go and say, कि यार तू सब्जी बना दे, मैं रोटी का जुगाड़ कर लूंगी. And I used to go home and give them bread. Okay, so it was like that bad. But then slowly and steadily, I started enjoying it. And there is, when you see your kid eat properly, it is so fulfilling. It is one of the biggest joy to see him just lap it all up. And it also went through where I started doing it from scratch because he is a South Indian delicacy fan, and now batter and also there was no question of getting from outside. And when you as a person is going to make the batter, you're going to add a little bit of fenugreek seeds to the soaking, so it adds so much of value to the food. And he being 12 and a half, growth spurt time, it was absolutely imperative for me that I make it as nutritious as possible. Plus, kids tend to be sparse eaters. They don't eat too much. So whatever is there has to be very, very nutritious. And from there, as you do, things get better. And I also went on to make my own garlic bread. Once I think I was making pav bhaji and I was going to give them that, the regular bread that comes, because we were a little skeptical about buying pav from outside. And I told my husband, ke, आज pav bhaji बन रही है. So he was initially, अच्छा pav कहाँ से आए? I said, oh, pav nahi, you can just have it with bread. He didn't say a word, but there is a lot of non-verbal communication that happens between a husband and a wife. So I can just read it onto his face, like pav bhaji without pav. Okay. Mm-hmm. So when you get confidence in doing something, on a spur of a moment, I decided, okay, let me attempt pav. So for me, making pav at home, which surprisingly turned very well, call it beginner's luck or I don't know what, but they did turn out well. So it has been a whole process from not knowing how to make rice to baking a cake. In fact, now the other day I made paneer butter masala, okay, which is quite a multi-step procedure for someone like me. But it turned out so well. My son likes it from one particular restaurant, and he said, "Mama, ये तो उससे भी अच्छा है." That was like a crown on my head. That was the best thing I could get from him. And when, there has been a little talk that the cooks should come back, they can come back alternate days. That talk is everywhere in all societies, I think. So when this started, he actually said, oh, you're going to stop cooking now? And I really don't think so. Not yet. So that's how I added the quality to it.
Yes. Yes, indeed. As you come back to your normal work life, so I'm sure the kids must be wondering, will you stop cooking? And really, you have inspired us to continue the passion what you started in the lockdown. So I think I'll do the same because I'm very much relating to what you're saying. This brings me to Neha, like how Shilpa has been so attached to her passion, and I'm saying nowadays everything is art, and what you are doing is a total different type of art, wherein it's an expression of mind body balance. So can you share with us how therapeutic it is, and how do you decide that this lockdown is the right time to start this form of art?
Okay. So actually, I had two options in mind when I had I couldn't go to my studio and work there. So sitting at home, I could either write or I could either draw. Started with writing, initially, but what happens is writing is it becomes a little more stressful, and I am very particular that if I write, I have to put in all the information and be correct about it. So there is a little bit of OCD when I come to writing, and which was becoming very stressful for me. So I thought, art will be something which I would love to do, and also it is more, again, it's more forgiving. You can be right, and you cannot go wrong. Everything that you do is your expression. You can start with something and end up with something else, but it is just art. It's perfectly fine to do that. So, and yeah, lockdown, so mandala is something which I explored during this period. I was mostly into doodle art, which is a little more abstract, and there's not much structure to it. But mandalas were always a little, they were a little scary for me, because there was a repetition in that, and there was a slight, a little bit one notch up in perfection. So I was like, it's, since I have so much of time now to try, so let's give it a try. And believe me, once you start drawing mandala, you cannot go back to drawing anything else. It's so, the repetitions, I think they are like meditation, I would say. So the repetitive chanting in meditation is your repetitive hand movement that happens while you're drawing mandalas. And I'm glad that I could encourage, I could just inspire a lot of other people to take this up. When I used to post my art on my social media handles, there were a lot of friends who came back to me, and they were like, we would want to start, and how can we do this? So I just help them out with the basics and get them going with it. So there is a therapeutic value to this. And then you can, you can release your creative energy there. You can express yourself, and you just get lost in it. You can forget everything else, and just when once you start drawing, you don't know what time is it. At least I plan my day and cook food and keep everything ready. But yeah, so you just get lost in the art. So I guess this is the best thing to do during lockdown, if you want to take away your mind from anything negative. This is so this has really helped me to keep myself positive during this period.
That's fabulous, Neha. Actually, we all can say whatever, like cooking, music, or art. It actually takes away all the worries and whatever tensions are going around. They just fade away when we are into that art and into that deep inside of it. This brings me to my final questions to you. Question to you. So my question would be, I'm very curious to that how you guys keep a positive outlook and plan a brighter days during this whole situation. So I would start with Manoj. Can you tell me?
Yeah. The first thing I did
Please answer
is
this. Yeah, thank you.
the first thing we've started doing at home is to block all newspapers, WhatsApp messages, which bring about negativity. So just don't do that. And this we started even before COVID. It was not now, because there's so much of negativity in the world, and everybody is giving you these. WhatsApp has become like a news channel. I mean, somebody was telling me that day that somebody has passed away, and the relatives are uh, paying condolences from under the house. And it's so sad that people from the opposite building are actually shooting this on the phone. Are we a news channel or what? It's really sad that we've come to this. I don't. So, first of all, I think being a news channel and using WhatsApp as a news channel is one of the worst things to do. And we should stop doing that. So, one thing I did was to stay away from all the negative messages. Okay. I don't look at what is the COVID count in a city, in a day, how many deaths have happened. I think that's perhaps not right on one hand, but on the other hand, that also tells you that okay, you're doing the best you can to protect yourself. Okay, you're taking all the necessary precautions you can. Other than that, what can you do? A, never think negative. Okay, if I'm just going to read something which I have on my WhatsApp as my status, which I totally believe in and I live by. It says, the universe is not punishing you, it is not blessing you, it is not controlling you. The universe responds to the vibration you are creating. Think happy and happiness will come to you. Think negativity and negativity will come to you. When we put what we put out into the universe, we will get back like an echo. So I truly believe in this, and I live by this every day of my life, COVID or no COVID. And I hope that nothing in the world can deter me from doing this. And I genuinely want. In fact, my daughter's original song, which we are working on, I'm hoping that we can have that out in August, is based on this. And I believe that all of us need to be positive, and that's the only way to be ending negativity in the world. I mean, whatever happens, we have to continue to be positive. Otherwise, there's no other way you can continue with life, and we don't know how long or short life is. So every day of your life, just be positive.
Wonderful thought you've shared with us, Manoj. And Shilpa, I would like you to continue the thought and let us know how do you keep so positive.
So one is I feel एक फितरत होती है. Some people will generally, no matter what oddballs come at them, they will take it up with a smile. And first few days, I was not. I had lost my positivity. I was getting stressed. I was, the whole absurdity of the situation was really killing me. So the first few days went in a little, you could say a little anger, a little inability to cope also. But then eventually, what started happening is you start realizing, instead of what you just lost, you start realizing what you still have. And that started making me feel a lot better. And I started looking at the positive side of things. And then there is always so many things to do. And cooking, as I said, the other thing about cooking is it keeps you occupied. It keeps you mentally occupied. It's repetitive. So, every day you're going to get up and you're going to think, okay, what am I going to make today? So that occupies your mind space, which is good. So in this whole thing, I think, when we see that the pollution levels have gone down, and we as, I think human beings are human because we can cope and adapt to situations. That makes us so different from everything else. And as far as we continue our journey of developing coping mechanisms, we still have a long way to go. And I'm sure we all are going to grow old. And if we make it through, we are going to live to tell this tale. And that's what I feel, Supriya.
Very nicely explained, Shilpa, really. And this brings to the end of my questions, but now we have questions from our viewers. So, Shruti Seth has asked that how is this lockdown thing, how this lockdown thing will change people's mind, and what are the takeaways from this period? Manoj, can you answer this for Shruti, please?
Question? Can you repeat the question once, please?
Yes, yes, sure. How this lockdown thing will change people's mind, and what are the takeaways from this period?
I think it's perhaps what we spoke about, over here, that people, I'm hoping, become more positive. They become more forgiving. They understand to live in dire circumstances. As they say, we are living in Aghor Kaljug now, and that comes with its own, negatives. And the only way we can survive living through this Agor Kaljug is by not contributing to it. So I think that all the vices, which is Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, as they say, we need to do exactly the opposite of that. And if we do that, I think we can survive and not contribute to this really torrid time that the earth is facing or human beings are facing. So I think that's the thing to do.
We have lost Supriya. We have Neha. Can you take the next question, which says, "What all can one do to ease out the lockdown stress?" Unmute
Neha,
your
you're on
mic,
mute.
please.
You're on mute, Neha.
Yeah, so lockdown has been quite stressful for people, like at least for me, because I am not a household person at all and not used to doing any of the household chores. Cooking and cleaning the house is not something which I enjoy doing. So, if that is the case, with since we are so used to helps around us, so if that is the case, I would suggest that have something you can look forward to go back to. Basically, that keeps your mind occupied. So, like for me, if I'm doing my household chores, I'm planning what to draw next, or thinking of how my one of the next drawings will come out to be. So the whole time is gone, while cooking also I'm conceptualizing my next artwork. So something which helps you to keep keep yourself busy and occupied, and something to look forward to, that is very important. Something where you can express yourself, and also there is nothing, no right and wrong. So I guess that is one thing. And then again, just stop looking at any, avoid looking at any negative news around you. Just try to be positive and think positive, be grateful to whatever you have with you. And again, like whatever it's universe gives you, whatever you look out for, whatever you think about.
Thankful. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can manifest what you think. I think
Yes. So
Manoj, we have something very interesting. And though I have heard you sing, I would love to hear you sing again. I'm quite a fan of your voice. Just as Riva's, you sing lovely. So we have a song request from Manoj. Manoj, please can you sing a song for us?
Okay, I'm not going to take too much of your time, but I'll just sing a couple of lines. I think
Yeah.
it's for this journey of life. It's one of my favorite songs. मुसाफिर हूँ यारो, ना घर है ना ठिकाना, मुझे चलते जाना है, बस चलते जाना.
Lovely. Thanks so much. That was nice.
wonderful.
Supriya, welcome back.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for singing with us. Thank you, Shilpa. And Shilpa, actually, I have a question for you from our audience, wherein someone wants to know that what is your favorite dish which you like to cook?
The favorite dish will be the one which I find that
Unmute, yeah.
yeah, I might unmuted. So the favorite dish is of course the one which my son really enjoys. And again, as I said, the nutrition part is heavy on my mind. So I love to make dosa for him. And because the sambar, you should see me do the sambar. I put every conceivable vegetable in that. So it becomes, all the whole gamut of nutrients is gone. And of course, dosa, because it's his favorite. My husband loves dosas. So for my husband and my son, it's ultimately what they love the best. So yeah, it would be the idli dosa sambar. So it's been
Okay,
lovely
okay.
talking to you,
So we should
Supriya.
also come and eat your sambar someday.
Oh yes, once we are allowed to meet,
Thank you,
sure.
Shilpa. One. So, one more question which we have from our audience is: do you think that lockdown has given us the opportunity to discover our hidden potentials? Neha, can you answer this for us?
Yes, Supriya, I would say that. Again, it depends, like some people would want to do that and the others may not want to do that. So I guess if you are inclined towards looking out for new things or going back to your passions, go and do it. But if in case you are not very not too inclined for it, I guess it's okay to just chill out and do whatever you feel good about. There's no stress that everybody has to do something and has to come up with something, uh, personal growth or whatever. These are the things which, if you are really looking for it, it's okay. But in case you are fine without them and you feel that okay, I've got the time to just chill and relax at home, so just do it. Just do whatever you feel good about, because in case you stress about this also, the situation otherwise is so stressful. So I guess just be yourself, do whatever you enjoy doing. It could be anything.
Yes, surely. I think we got the answer. And now, what you said now, the next question is from Priyal, who says, what all can one do to ease out the lockdown stress? Shilpa, can you answer this for us? What all can one do to ease out the lockdown stress?
So yes, I'm also reading something like, sometimes people around you are negative and you can lose your cool. I think I'll just combine both the questions. I really feel that we all are going through our individual journeys,
Yes, that's my next question.
and we are
Yes.
going to, yeah, and we are going to have our lows, and people around you are going to have their times. It's not going to be a simple, even thing.
I've seen people get very impressionable also. If you read something bad, it is obviously going to affect you. So we as doctors are facing some really torrid questions, and being the between being a doctor and being explaining things to the society is also getting tough. Why no maids? Puri dunya to chal rahi hai. So when where we have to put our checks and balances in place. So when people lose their cool, don't allow it to affect you. In fact, just take it as, okay, you need help. Just take it in a way that they are the ones who are not really affecting you negatively, but they are the ones seeking your support. So allow them. So even sometimes I see my son, he's 12 and a half, he's locked up in a house. He was a boy who he used to go down to play at 4, and I had to pull him in at 9. So these things are going to happen. We have to keep, just telling ourselves, okay, it's your day today, it's my day today. And music, I feel, is very therapeutic. So if someone enjoys music, they should try that. Or whatever, reading, distracting, binge watch, for all you know. Binge watching is so good, it just takes your day away. So yeah, that's all that I would have to say.
Thank you.
I just have
Wonderfully answered. Can you also put in some insight on this?
Yes, we would love to hear, Manoj.
I know. I just wanted to, I think Shilpa has said it very well. But since everybody's asking for a solution, and unfortunately I'm not a therapist, but one of the tricks which somebody had suggested to me once is that before COVID times, which is BC as I call it, you always used to feel, oh shit, I'm so tired, I don't want to go to work, I wish there was a holiday I could get to. How am I going to survive? And there is no summer holiday coming up right now. Summer holidays is 6 months away. So how do you deal with it in such times? Okay, now I'm talking about, these are unusual times, I'm talking about before unusual times, and the same thing can be applied here. So basically what you need to do is to trick your mind. Okay, so you need to put yourself a milestone which says, hey, which is exactly what our Prime Minister did with us initially when the lockdown started, right? He said, 15 din mein lockdown khul jayega, don't worry. So you need to trick yourself into saying, hey, July is round the corner, yeah, 1st July, things will get better. Then suddenly somebody's saying, hey, you know what? Mumbai will be able to breathe better in terms of COVID post July 15th. So you need to trick your own mind into saying, again, this is related to positivity, right? You say, yeah, I'm sure it'll come around in 10 days. You're not going to say, oh shit, this is going to take till March 2021. You'd rather say it's going to get over in another 10 days. I'm telling you, this is how it's going to happen. This is what you're putting out into the universe. And I'm sure it'll happen. If all of us start doing that, I'm sure we can see the end of this very soon. So trick your mind into believing that hope is just around the corner, and then you will lead a better life.
I think there is a lag at her end.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you, Shilpa. Thank you so much. You've been saving me throughout this session because of my network. I could not do it. Thank you so much, Dr. Shilpa.
No, it's on a
And
pleasure.
it has been wonderful having you on. And I'm sorry if my network issue. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Neha. Thanks for the wonderful session. And I would again like to thank Woodpecker Media, who has always curated this wonderful sessions throughout this lockdown and has kept us informed and entertained and busy to learn something new one day or the other. Again, thanks all for being there. Thanks my audience for listening to us, for asking questions and all your comments and love. Thanks, love life to all of you. Thank you once again. See you.
Thanks a lot, Supriya.
Thanks a lot. Thank you,
Thank
Supriya.
you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Shilpa. Thanks, Neha.
Thank you, Manoj. Nice hearing you. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.